Hey, today I'm dismantling the sails on the Ticora, the Portuguese slave trading ship. I've decided that instead of going with the folded up or tied up version of the sail, that I'm going to assemble the sails so that they're at their full function. For example, this one here would be draped across here, and then all of these can be unrolled, because when I first put the sails together, I made them so that if one day I wanted to unroll them and make them functional, that it would just be a matter of snipping these little ties here on the front. I don't know if you can see that, but each one of them has a little knot right here, and you just have to pluck away at them, and then the sail will unravel. However, this is the wrong material that I used. I used this from an old Harley Davidson t-shirt I had, and it's too thick. It's not fraying, but it's too thick. So instead I'm going to save these and use these for patterns, and get material that's a lot more appropriate. In my experience, I've noticed that old bed sheets, they're already worn in and they're soft, so you can use those. They're a lot more pliable and they don't fray. So in the next video that I make, I'll show you how I'm going to lay these down on top of the sheets, and then you can see how I do the outline and then eventually get it ready for cutting. So for today, as I mentioned, I'm just going to cut these sails away here. And you don't really have to be very ginger with these boats, provided you did the right thing on the initial building when you built it to begin with. Made sure that you have plenty of glue on the hull, and you put the masts on with some good strength. Now I'm going to lay these in each spot right here, so that later on I don't mess up and then I don't know which sail goes which, because it's just, these are pretty close in size but they all vary, so it's better just to leave them with their corresponding masts, and then later on you do one sail at a time. See, that's the little cutaway string right there. So as you can see, this is the Ticora now. She's been stripped of her sails, and the next process will be laying down the sheet and then beginning on the new sails. So I'll bring you over so you can have a look so far where she's at. Here's a good shot of the top tips of the masts, and of course later on all that stuff, there's your crow's nest. And then of course later on, ultimately I'll be changing this whole stringing process that I have here now. So it'll be different, it'll be same in some regard but different in most regards. And that white hull there, that's the beginning of the HMS Bounty. After she went down in Hurricane Sandy, I decided to build my own version, or something as close as I could. So for now, that's what they look like when I begin with them. Just regular sheet of construction paper, and you got to shape it all, and then later on you make the ribs and all for the hull. In the meantime, this is her. There's the mates on board watching over the cargo. This is of course a slave ship, so it would carry these spoked fence here would be to hold the slaves, the cargo, the slaves. In this area here so they couldn't jump over this picket fence to try and take over the ship, which was under control by the officers on this end of the ship here. And of course, since they were, you know, brand new slaves, they had no idea what metal was, so there was no fear from them at all that the slaves would somehow try to commandeer these cannons, because they never really operated them unless they came under attack. And then when they did come under attack, the slaves were driven down below into the hold, so they had no idea what was, you know, how to light off these cannons rather. So again, here's, you know, shots of the cannons with the soldiers manning them. And here's the front. You've got a soldier standing right by, and a big pile of cannons right there. And again, these cannonballs rather. And again, these cannonballs were very heavy, so they couldn't really be used as weapons against officers, because they were so extremely heavy. You would see someone coming at you with something like that. Here's the other side of the hull. And those are all matchsticks, by the way. All matchsticks on the hull. This hull started out much like that hull, but then later on I'll show you in the next video how I make the ribs and eventually fashion the hull. The deck here is same thing, matchsticks, and in between you can see stripes of mahogany that I found from a hobby friend of mine. Has his own store, so he gave me some. I even threw some rugged looking mahogany. You can see it on the deck, like a little bit of roughness there. And then here's a couple of other stripes of mahogany right here, and then underneath here. So it is a little bit time consuming, but it's one of those labors of love. So and the other thing I'll be changing is I'll be taking this driven back out of here, and then I'm going to mount it here instead, okay, to make it a little bit more historically correct. So you can see the tip will come right down, and then rather than protruding from the back of the hull, I'm going to attach this to here, coming out here for the back sails. And then of course I can always attach a lantern out of the back there. I'm sure I'll do something with that hole. But thank you very much for viewing my video, and you can find us on Facebook under the name of Frank's Little Boats. Have a good day, everybody.